Joining me now, actor, writer, lawyer, economist, author, documentary filmmaker of the brand new hit Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed, the one and only Ben Stein. I mean, you can't really...
Honored to be here.
You can't hold down a job. I mean, pick a career, man.
No, I can't hold down a job, and I have a lot of bills. A really lot of bills.
Well, out of all of those things, what's your favorite?
My favorite thing is being on TV with you.
Oh, yeah.
No, my favorite thing is being on TV and also speaking to groups. I love meeting people. I'm a born politician. I think someday later in life, if I live long enough, I'll run for office. I love meeting people. Ben
was on the air with me on radio earlier this week, and I said, you know what? I think you and Joe Lieberman should run.
Dynamic, explosive.
Yeah.
All right, I know you're making fun of me.
No.
In our own low-key way, we're explosive. We're low-key explosive.
Right, yeah.
Low-key explosive.
All right, you're here, a law, you went to Columbia.
I was elected valedictorian. I didn't get the highest grades. I was elected, but I got pretty good grades.
What do you mean you were elected?
The students voted on who should be valedictorian, and I was the most popular, so I was elected.
What kind of stupid system is that?
Well, that's the way it was. Power to the people.
Right.
Right on. Power to the people.
So anyway, you've got a new movie out, which if I may.
Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed.
Expelled, this is from the New York Times. Expelled is an unprincipled propaganda piece that insults believers and non-believers alike. I'd wear this I'd make T-shirts that said that.
Well, you know what? I don't think this woman has met a believer probably in about the last 20 years, because all the believers I know loved it. Church groups went from all over the country. They were yelling and screaming and staying and applauding and visiting with each other and then coming back for the next show. I don't really know what she was talking about.
Listen to me. If you are turn the TV... In about 55 minutes, turn the TV off and go and see this movie. I saw it last weekend, and it's absolutely fantastic. I want to play a clip and have you talk about it. This one is first. This is one of the most depressing things I think I've ever seen. This is a professor who is all into evolution and Darwin, and he's trying to explain, I think, in a happy way, what it means to believe in evolution. Watch this.
It starts by giving up an active deity, then it gives up the hope that there's any life after death. When you give those two up, the rest of it follows fairly easily. You give up the hope that there's an imminent morality. And finally, there's no human free will. If you believe in evolution, you can't hope for there being any free will. There's no hope whatsoever of there being any deep meaning in human life. We live, we die, and we're gone.
And that's it. He added, and that's it. I know. He actually turns out to be a very, very nice guy named Dr. Will Provine.
Wait a minute.
He's a very nice guy.
I'm
he really
sure
is.
he is, but that's his happy message.
Well, no, later on in the movie, he gives a happier message in which he says, I don't care if you believe in intelligent design, creationism, Darwinism, I just want you to have thought through the issues carefully. And that's all we want in the movie.
Can I tell you something? I just brought my daughter to several universities. One of them was Columbia University.
Oh, I went there.
The other one was Princeton. Columbia, if anybody from admissions is listening, I loved it. Most arrogant place I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that's all Ivy League universities.
No, you know what? Princeton, because of Professor Robert George, is starting to balance both sides. They've got
God bless them. God bless them.
Peter Singer.
He's not. He's sort of extreme.
What if you just think that you can abort your 2-year-old child
to harvest the organs?
Yeah, if you think that's extreme. What Princeton is trying to do is balance people like that. I have no problem with him spewing that kind of nonsense, as long as somebody equally as intelligent and well-spoken is on the other side saying, that sounds like a bad idea.
Well, if you're finding that at Princeton, God bless Old Nassau. That's their nickname, but I don't think that's happening too many.
You don't ever
stores.
lose in a trivia contest, do you?
Old nausea, they call it. Old nausea.
All right, let me give you another piece from the movie, and well, since we're on arrogance, and they say that people who believe in intelligent design are crazy.
Yes, and stupid and knuckle-dragging Cro-Magnons.
Oh my gosh, the insults just never stop.
They never stop.
But then listen to what they think is reasonable. This is one of the leading scholars.
Archpriest of atheistic Darwinism.
Okay. talking about who might have designed the human cell.
The archpriest.
If you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology, you might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe.
Did you?
Yeah, he said that, and I think he later said on his blog that he was just trying to be polite to me because I was so stupid. He was taking pity on me.
He did not.
Yes, he did. He just said I thought Ben Stein, whom I'd never heard of, was just honestly stupid, and I was just sort of taking pity on him.
You've got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
I'm not kidding.
So he was talking down to the dummy and talking maybe it's a space alien.
Yeah, that's right. That's what he says now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You buy that at all?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. But they have no explanation of where life came from. We have an explanation as a possibility that there's an intelligent designer. My belief is his name is God. He has always been. He always will be. He created life. He created the heavens and the earth. And I don't know whether he created them in 6 billion years or 60 billion years or how many years, but he created them. And that's how it works, and that makes as much sense to me as it happened by accident. I mean,
or a space alien.
Yes, a space.
Who created the space alien?
Yeah, it's a little far-fetched, but he will trust that as a possible explanation to take pity on stupid Ben Stein.
Right.
But he will not posit the possibility of a God.
Here's what's really frightening, Ben, is here we are sitting in a society, in a world that is going to universal health care. Universal health care that you can't afford. They're already rationing it over in London, in England, and in Canada. They're now taking people to the Supreme Court in Canada because they can't get health care. It's exactly what happened in Germany. And what happened in Germany, when you couple it with this kind of thinking that you see in the movie, bad things happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wrote about this already. That what's going to happen if you marry up eugenics and limited access to universal health care, it's going to be you just go die. You just go off and die. And already in Germany, I'm told, people are given this little pill when they get old and sick, and they take the pill and they go to sleep and don't wake up. And the problem, yes, that's happening a lot in Germany. And
what is the name of the pill? That's being prescribed by doctors?
Yes. And apparently it's a super powerful barbiturate. And people take it, and that's it for them. And
you think we say we never going to forget what they?
No, but the problem with that, of course, is what if you're just in a bad mood for a couple of hours and you take it, and then you're gone for good? You can't change your mind. I don't know if
that's the.
That's one of the problems.
Well, that's one of the problems. But the other problem I see is doctors are prescribing, are killing people in Germany.
Well, again, you might say. Again. I mean, we showed that, we documented this in the movie, that they've been doing this for a while.
Let me go to this, because you went to the Hadamar Clinic, which is one of the places where death clinic, where the German doctors took 2 of them, had to sign a form to say, yep, we got to kill this person. Watch this.
So this was a Darwinian concept.
Yes.
And also a Malthusian concept, very much Malthusian.
Malthusian?
Thomas Malthus, who said that there was a shortage of resources, English philosopher, so there's a shortage of...
But the Nazis, they relied on Darwin.
Do you ever think to yourself, the sane ones were the ones lying here having their brains removed, the insane one was Dr. Gorgas and all the other people?
No, I don't think that, because I think those people who killed here, they were very sane, because they had their purposes.
If you met Dr. Gorgas today, what would you say to him?
I don't know. I don't think that it's my role to tell him something.
It's incredible.
May I ask you a question? Because you're Jewish. I watched this, and I thought I could feel the pain in you.
It was terrible. It
had to have.
It was horrible. And not right up the hill from where I had that interview, there is a cemetery where they buried the ashes of Jewish children, half-Jewish children, who were killed because they had one Jewish parent who had already been sent to a death camp, one Aryan parent who had been sent off to war or to forced labor. So that child was just a needless drain. They were never going to allow that child to live. So they just gave the child an overdose of drugs, killed him or her, and burned him to ash, and put the ashes in that cemetery. And by the way, they have to have guards up all the time because neo-Nazis deface the graves.
So, the point of the movie, and this is why you need to see it, the point of the movie is we've got to have a conversation. And I tell you, Ben, when I saw the movie, I walked away saying there's a big portion of America, and it's coming from these universities, that I don't even recognize anymore.
No, I don't recognize them either. They don't have any idea of the sacredness of human life. It all starts with the sacredness of human life, and then we work backwards and forwards from there. But if you don't start with the sacredness of human life, you're not getting anywhere.
More with Ben Stein in just a second.